Hi! Ew. I've been meaning to make a video for I don't know, 3 weeks, but most fortunately I've been pretty busy with work. It's been like work, and then it was tornado. Then it was post-tornado. And then it was work, and now I finally get to just settle and enjoy the quarantine. Sit in my backyard, chilling. It's kind of chilly. We're in the spring of deception, as some have coined it, in our annual spring slog. There's a semi-annual swamp in my woods behind me. Today, I wanted to talk about prayer. And I guess I'm supposed to be looking at that lens over there, but I like looking at myself. So prayer, there's technically no wrong way to pray, but there are some effective methods, and I thought I would share some of the more successful tactics that I've been practicing for a little bit and found to be startlingly effective. So yeah, I guess I'll just jump right in. So it's good to be aware of the emotional and mental state that you're in before you begin. And there's no reason in being dishonest about it, because there's no hiding from the Almighty, the Eternal. We all understand this in different ways. You have to just be raw and honest. So if you are feeling afraid or angry or ashamed or any of those what we would call darker emotions, the best thing to do is be honest about those and get them all out. Lay thy burden upon the Lord. It's a sign of strength to give that over and show vulnerability. The universe can see right through you anyway, so it's going to deliver whatever your actual vibration is. And the more you're in alignment and authentic, meaning, your words and your actions match up with your feelings and thoughts and intentions, then the more harmonious things will be. So I have found that if I have a heavy burden, that it's best to pray it out and really get into it. Wallow in your sorrow. If you hate Ted, just really be honest about how he just cranks your crack. I don't know what that saying was, but what was I can't remember. Peter, what's his face from Family Guy, had a thing that he coined for a minute. I've momentarily forgotten it. You know what winds my crank? I can't remember. Forget it now. But if you hate Ted and he gets on your last nerve, tell God all about it. Tell him how you can't stand him, how he just puts sand in your underwear and is just so rubs you wrong, just makes you just emotionally chapped. If you're upset about something, if you're sad, if you're heartbroken, if you're devastated, somebody's wronged you, just give yourself the permission to cry it out. Roll around on the floor, beat your fists, get real pathetic about it, and give yourself permission to do that. And eventually you'll just get tired, and then you'll be like, oh, look at me, this is not me, I am not like this, and you have digested the feelings out of you. If you're afraid, tell God what you're afraid about. I hate using the word God. People are so, it's like the branding has been really tarnished. But God's not the cartoon that we were given by well-intentioned people that went to Bible college. The moment we try to put a face or a shape or a boundary around the eternal divine, that is when we have created an engraven image, because that limits the infinite. So let's just move on past that. I don't believe in the God that you don't believe in either, as Rob Bell likes to say. So now that that's behind us. So yes, voice your fears, get them off your chest, and the more you get it out, the better you will feel. Now, moving on, when you want to pray for something that you hope you will, experience a result from, I have found that the energy of gratitude and joyful expectance is like fast-acting serum. Let me break that down a little bit. So if you're praying like, please God, let this happen, or please let me be this, or please protect me from that, or please send money, you're affirming very clearly that this is not in your life, and that you do not have it, and that you are not in vibrational alignment with it, and that you are lacking in it, and it is scarce. So what you want to do is, forget all the manners that you've been taught about being presumptuous, and be very presumptuous with God and the angels and the heavenly help that you're praying to, and pray in confidence and gratitude and joy and thanksgiving that it has already shown up. So I will demonstrate. Dear God, thank you for all of your protection from this virus. I am so grateful that I have been so safe and secure, and that I will continue to be safe and secure from this virus. And I am so grateful for all of the work and the money and the opportunities flowing in, and for all the resources and connections I have. And I am just so grateful for all the blessings that are just raining down in my life, and I'm just thankful, and I name it and claim it. You want to name it and claim it and be very confident that it is there. And in the meantime, be in a state of happiness and joy and gratitude and confidence by just thinking about what you already have and what you've already experienced. And even if you can't think of anything specific in your life at the moment, you probably know someone who has had something, an example. So you can even borrow from that example. Sorry, I just belched. And just know that it is possible, because it's been possible for that person, so it can be possible for you too. But chances are you have something in your life. If you're watching this video, you're alive and breathing. And, even if you're broke and, I don't know, I've been all manner of uncomfortable in my life and down on my luck, or in any given crisis. And somehow I have always been able to find my way out of despair and back into joy and prosperity again. And that is from deciding, even if it means I am crazy and delusional, that things are great and I have something to be grateful for, and focusing on that. So if you need to, brainwash yourself by lying to yourself that you feel like it's so awesome. But you can start small with things that are believable to you by saying things like, I'm feeling a little bit better every day, and I'm doing my best to make better choices for myself. I'm doing my best to be guided from wisdom and joyful expectancy. And that might be believable to you to start with, and you just kind of get more elaborate from there. Get bigger, get happier, get more abundant from there. But choose affirmations and prayers that are believable to you at first, and then get more elaborate. So, praying with joy and expectancy, and being very presumptuous with God. Naming what you want with very clear, decisive energy that's very aligned, and then taking action that is aligned with that intention. with faith that something can happen. And also acceptance and surrender that things may not play out how you want, and that's okay. It's like this attitude of kind of devil may care, what have I got to lose? Like, I'm just gonna do it and see what happens, because the lighter you are about it and the less you have like resistance, the faster things can happen. Have you ever made a joke about something and all of a sudden it like really happens? Well, that's because when you joked around about it in that moment, you had no resistance. There wasn't anything inside of you going like, oh, well, I hope it does, or what if it doesn't? Oh my God, everything's gonna be ruined. You know, it's like you're just like, oh, what if this happened? Wouldn't that be hilarious? And then it does, and you're like, oh my God, like, I can't believe this. So think of it like that. Think of it just like, what have I got to lose? I'm just gonna be devil may care and put this out there and be like really like, yeah, thanks for giving me that, you know, and almost rude about it. Like, I expect this, I'm manspreading, I'm naming it and claiming it. Like, you know, be clear about what you want, name it and claim it, put your stamp on it. There have been just trivial things that I've seen in stores that there was just the one, and I'm like, naming that and claiming it for mine, save that for me, and then couldn't buy it that day, but something happened later that allowed me to go back and it was like still there, and then the ladies in the store were like, oh, tell that other young lady it's gone this time, and I'm like, oh, there's sharks circling my thing, you know. So you just gotta like zap things with your magic and trust that God has you taken care of and your angels have you taken care of, and there's a plan, and that you are meant to flourish and be blessed and be happy. I would say another tactic to use is writing things down. What we say and what we bring into the physical realm is a divine process of creation. If you break down the cosmic blueprint of reality, it starts as this unformed potential. And as the unformed potential condenses, it becomes this energetic inspiration that sort of moves down into your crown, into your mind. And it's like, you're like, I think I'm getting an idea. And then, you know, you realize that idea. Well, that is the next step of that, is getting a clear vision of it. And that energy is being formed more closer to a physical reality. So once you have a vision formed, you need to speak about what you are thinking. You need to voice this idea. And sometimes it's best not to tell anyone, but just to voice it to yourself, because sometimes keeping it to yourself keeps the energy building and positive, because, you know, we've all met the naysayers and you don't want anybody shitting in your cereal. So loose lips sink ships, so keep it to yourself, but name it out loud. The next level of bringing your divine inspiration into a physical form and giving birth to it in the physical reality is to write it down. So I write my prayers out in my journal every day. And I have had such a turnaround between the naming and claiming with gratitude and expectance and actually writing it out that sometimes it is startling. Now, word of warning, when you pray for something, it does not always unfold in some nice way. Many times it unfolds in a very jolting and sometimes unsettling way, but it always ends up playing out to bring you into your higher good. But just because, you know, you want something to happen doesn't mean it's gonna happen in this like nice Care Bear like fantasy like My Little Pony way. It might happen in like a very jolting like, whoa, oh my God, like what's going on? Like if you want, you know, say you're like praying like, oh, I want my dream job and I don't know how to get it, and I don't know how to leave this job that I don't want. Like maybe you lose your job suddenly and you unexpectedly, and like kind of like a whoa, like a sudden like, I wasn't ready for that, like that's not what I wanted. You know, you see these memes where you're like, God, I wanted 3 months off work, paid vacation, and then like, you know, it's like a coronavirus meme where the guy's like, oh, this is not what I meant, you know, but it, like, that's a good example. Not that that's why we have coronavirus, but so many people wanted paid time off. Although I will say, I think we all were needing and yearning for this deep down at some level, just a chance to slow down and reset, and for society, for like some sort of weird, like, catastrophic cleansing, but that's for another episode. So yeah, so write it down, and write it down in words that are also joyful and expecting. Try to write it in the present tense. Like, if you're, you know, if you need money right now, write, you know, thank you God for the unexpected, you know, way I was able to earn some more money. Like, thank you for sending somebody just in time to like suggest a creative, you know, way to make or earn some extra money on the side. Or, you know, thank you for bringing me this like really awesome job with like all these people that are awesome to be with, and like it's just like a great environment. I'm doing things that I love doing, and I'm using my talents. Like right there, you start going off and you start writing, and before you know it, like 10 minutes have gone by and you've been writing about like this awesome job that you've gotten, and you're all excited about it, and you've really gotten a clear vision of like what that might look like. Then before you know it, a couple of days, you've got a job. I've been a freelancer in TV, film and video production for 10 years now. And we are very used to feast or famine. In fact, I'm not one that particularly enjoys long-term gigs. They kind of make me feel pinned in and trapped. But so I've done short gigging for like 10 years, which means that I'm looking for a job like all the time. And I never have like a long-term job. My life is like someone who's been fired every week, except for I haven't been fired every week. So when people are like, oh my God, I lost my job, what am I gonna do? I'm like, I don't know, just something will happen. Like, you'll find one, just keep looking, take the steps. So I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, my trick that I learned, and it always seemed to work like 98% of the time. If I was in the right mind frame and I wasn't like scarce, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I would write down on a note card or in my journal, like, book a gig, or thank you God for the gig I booked, or whatever. And sure enough, within 24 hours, sometimes less, sometimes within minutes, I have somebody like call me about a job. And maybe sometimes those jobs fall through, but usually when you have a job, you keep getting more jobs. So like that job, the close call will lead to like another job or something else. So it always works. Like, I write down I want work, and work comes. Sometimes I just forget to do these things, and then when I remember, I'm like, oh yeah, duh, like I know how to do this. Like, so give it a shot, try it out, and if it doesn't work, then that's your fault. Just kidding. But no, these are things that have worked for me, and I hope that they will work for you. So remember, be honest in your prayers, be raw, get all your bad feelings out, and be honest, and it's safe to like tell God what you're feeling. Pray with joy and gratitude and expectancy that what you are calling into being has already happened, and it's already a done deal. Fasten your seatbelt and brace yourself for a jolting result, because it may not be exactly the way you think. And write down, name it and claim it vocally, and write down in your journal or a notepad or whatever the prayer that you are praying, and follow all of those rules that we previously talked about. I think there's anything else that's really helpful before I go. It's just nice to sit outside. Train. I think that might be it. There's probably going to be something I remember once I press stop, and I don't really want to edit this video because it's cumbersome, so I'm just going to post it like it is. All right, let me know in some comments, like, if you try it out, if it works. I hope it does. I hope everyone stays well and good and blessed and prosperous and fed and sheltered and maybe not clothed all the time. Get a hot bath, soak in some salt. Love you. Bye.